What's up, mofos, and welcome to the first ever Beefy Boiz Buzz-cast. We're just chilling out, hanging out, and talking about whatever's on our mind. So crack open a fresh one and join us on the ride. Let's go! So the first question on my mind, the same thing we've been talking about all week. We talked about it the other day. Aliens, baby. You know we got to start off with aliens.
Starting
So
off strong, man.
yeah. So for those who don't know, any viewers or listeners who might be listening to us for the first time, this is our first ever podcast. You're probably listening to us for the first time. In Mexico, Congress has shown off two allegedly alien bodies discovered in, I believe, Peru, and they're showing it off, stating that this is confirmed alien sightings. So allegedly, according to them, according to the studies they've done, at least 30% of the DNA found in these beings is not human DNA, allegedly. My question is, do you believe that these are real aliens? And more importantly, do you want this to be real aliens?
All right, so I guess I'll kick it off because this is my favorite subject. But
Dude, I'm always talking
Ah,
about
I
aliens.
was waiting for it.
so I'm gonna be the poo-poo of the party and say that this is not, in fact, aliens. The same guy that is the one showing these exposures and like the bodies, he already has exposed those same bodies like 2 decades ago. And when they were doing DNA testing, they found like the X-rays. The bones actually match up to be human femurs that were put together to create like the limbs. Um, so it's like it's a hodgepodge of like organic material that got put together, and then the other material that they were not able to identify, they're saying is metals being used. It's just like should confuse like the scientists of what it is and be able to say like technically not 100% human, so this is alien. So everything's pointing to the fact that this guy has been scamming for like 3 decades already, and he's back at it because now aliens are like a hot topic, especially in Congress. Well, what I would say on the good side is, on the bright side, the Mexican government has been exposing their files already since 2008. I didn't know this, but because they did this hearing, now all those files that were declassified 15 years ago, now we know about it, and there is sightings that they have reported that they have no idea what it is. So they're on the same uh, frequency that we all are, saying that there's something in this world that we have no idea what it is in the atmosphere, and it's kind of dangerous for our pilots. So there is a bright side, a silver lining to all of this. Those bodies, I don't believe is aliens.
All right.
Well, I mean, if we're going back to that topic of the bodies, just because it's hilarious. So over the week, people were doing the same thing that Craig is saying, that these bodies are probably not real. So the funny thing is that people have created cakes out of them,
Yeah, I
and
saw
I,
people,
that. I
I
saw
saw
that.
which is hilarious. I was like, oh man, can you imagine if this is actually true?
leave it to
That was so
Lewis to be
funny.
like, leave it to Lewis to be like, yeah, they're cakes. Aliens
Bring up cake.
Bring
are
up cake
cakes.
and food.
Let them eat cake.
uh, all right, but the most, whether they're real or not, dude. Let's pretend we have no clue. Let's pretend we don't know if this guy is a scammer or not. Let's pretend we don't know that he's been debunked. This dude's doing flips in front of me. Boy, you love biking.
Well, well, before you go further into that rabbit hole, the other question you had was, would you want this to be
That's what
aliens?
I'm. That's what
My
I.
answer
That's
to
where I was going. Forget that
yeah.
they may be fake. Forget that this may not be legit. Pretend we don't know anything about this guy. Do you want these bodies to be legit? Let's pretend this is a completely new dude. He's never talked about aliens before. We don't know anything about aliens. As far as he's concerned, your heart, in your heart, baby, in your heart of hearts. Do you want these
Bro,
bodies to be real? Do you want it to be legit
So
aliens?
before we do comment ourselves,
Don't talk about cakes,
everyone
bro.
that's listening, well, no, I'm not, but everyone listening and hopefully listening, comment below what you think, or when your heart of hearts, or soul of souls, or if whatever you want to believe in, if you want aliens or
that's
believe that aliens are real
that's true.
in
That's
that.
the one. Do you want aliens to be real? Do you want it? Do you want to believe we're
Um,
alone in this universe, or
I
do you want to
dude,
say that
I
Do you
that
want the
there's
aliens to be cakes? I'm going with the
cakes?
cake, guys. I'm sorry.
Of course you're going with the cakes. Of course this guy's going with the cakes.
this guy, bro.
Hey, hey.
Look, so like it's hard to be like yes or no on that one. What I want is the truth.
Pick a side,
And I feel
Craig.
like we've been all right. So if you want me to pick a side, and then yeah, I want it to be aliens because that way it's confirmation to all of us that keep thinking that the world and the universe is smaller than what it is. Kind of opens up everybody's mind. Like this is the scale of things. We are, in fact, not the only sentient beings. There's more sentient beings. It kind of broadens up and makes life a little bit more interesting. So yeah, I would like that to be uh, aliens.
Yeah,
With the infinite world or universe out there, there has to be. At this point, I'm even leaning towards a parallel universe kind of thing as well, because we don't even know what's out there.
Oh, dude, what? Now that you brought
my
up parallel universe,
my voice said multiverse of madness.
dude, why is it that everything in Hollywood now is multiverse? Remember
I
how
don't
we were talking
know.
about a few weeks ago
Yeah,
about how
yeah,
Hollywood knows something before everybody knows? Now all of
yeah.
a sudden Hollywood is doing multiverses.
Even
Is
video
there something we
games.
need to know about multiverses? And then now these beings
Even
are being
yeah.
called multidimensional, like beings that are traveling through dimensions. So like, does Hollywood know something that we don't know
Dude,
about?
yeah, man. Mortal Kombat, prime example. They've never done a whole multiverse kind of thing, and all of a sudden, like, just I don't know,
So
it's
Mortal
just the
Kombat right
weirdest
now
thing.
is
But
multiverse?
Without
they're
okay,
yeah,
guys,
they're
hold on.
so before we
Spoilers,
continue that other topic,
spoilers,
but
spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. For those who don't know what
Okay,
the
my bad.
who don't know what's going on in the new unreleased, the new unreleased Mortal Kombat game, there may be some spoilers ahead. Uh, so
you may want to skip this
skip a
part.
little bit, baby. Skip it out, my dog, because we're about to fuse two topics.
Are
All right,
about
go
to
ahead,
blow
Cheese.
your
Go ahead,
minds.
Cheese.
So the new game that's about to come out, the new Mortal Kombat game. So what Ed Boon is trying to do is create this whole multiverse, and with that, the last game that came out, I think it was Mortal Kombat 12, I believe. He
11, I think.
basically reset the entire Mortal Kombat. So starting from scratch, and come to find out that um, it was all different universes. But how they got there, or how it happens, or how they get there, we'll let the players get to that point. I don't want to ruin it for them.
Yeah. So once again, spoilers, guys. Uh, yeah. So in this new game, man, we'll go back to the other topic. But in this new game, like Liu Kang is playing Raiden's role, and basically, spoilers, guys,
He's
spoilers.
playing God,
Liu
but he's
Kang
playing
is
God. Let's be
basically like
realistic.
God, and he's recreated. From my understanding, he's and from what I've seen on YouTube, he's recreated the timeline. But again, guys, massive, massive, massive spoilers. Here, I'm about to say massive spoilers. The way that it turns out is that he has to, massive spoilers, uh, go into different timelines in order to recruit warriors to combat evil. So
Hmm.
going
That's
back to
interesting.
so
That's really
that's
interesting.
yeah, it's dude, and I
It's
don't have the
deep.
game. Obviously, the
That
game's
one
not out
gets
yet.
deeper.
But
Yeah.
the story mode is sick, dog. I watched it the other day. It was like 4 hours, but it's like it's sick. It's sick. It's sick. It's very well done. Um, so, anyways, I've dabbled in quantum physics, which I believe talks about the possibility of like, dude, and roast me in the comments if I'm wrong.
Okay,
Um,
do.
but I think quantum physics, one of the things it talks about is about, and one of the things it focuses on is parallel universes existing and stuff like that. So do I believe that can exist? Yeah, why not? But going back to the alien discussion, the universe as we know it and as we talk about it in school and as we're taught about it or whatever is infinite. You know, it's infinite. It goes on forever. So if this thing goes on forever, like who is to
Well,
say
it's a working infinite, but okay. So it's not infinite because it has an end at the moment, but it's
But it's
infinitely
constantly
growing. So
expanding, right? Yeah.
right,
So
right, yeah.
if it's going on forever, dude, think about. I feel like the typical person can't even understand, and me included. I'm the typical person. What what it is to be like, dude, in our galaxy we're tiny, but our galaxy is one of many galaxies. So with that in mind, like, why would we think that we're the only intelligent beings in a bunch of galaxies? It's crazy. And do I want it to be true? Do I want aliens to be real? Of course I do. Why? Because I feel that, whoa, we're about to crash. In the meaninglessness of our existence, we find meaning. And I'm not trying to sound smart, and it's paradoxical. But I think in realizing how small you are and how much there is out there, it gives us a new reason to try to live life to the fullest. I'm not trying to inspire people to live life to the fullest, but also it adds like a level of danger to it, right? Because what if we were about to be invaded and destroyed? There's like a sense of urgency to live life to the fullest because there's the theme of imminent destruction, and I feel like that makes life more exciting, dude.
Okay, so you touched on two topics that got my attention. So living life to the fullest is one that I think will change everything that's going on right now because as it is, what we do every day is kind of trivial. It is not kind of trivial. It is trivial. Like there's
Super.
not really a big purpose of the things that we do because I feel that I don't want to sound like the crazy neighbor that has a tinfoil on his hat, but I do feel like we're all given all this media to watch and everything is made in a purpose so we forget that like we're sentient beings and just keep doing what you're doing because I do feel like there's a level of harvesting going on. I have no idea what the harvesting is, but there's something that there may be like extracting from us that I think that they make us distracted every day. And
Oh,
then the other thing
baby,
you
you're
brought
making me
up on
excited.
the other thing you brought on was danger, and I think that the biggest on top of everything, the other reason that we have not been told about what's going on is because it is dangerous. There is a level of threat. There might be like subspecies, so there might be like species that like or even within their own species, there might be like Prometheus. I thought was a warning to humanity. Where I don't know if you guys saw the movie,
Yeah, the movie
but
Prometheus. Yeah.
so the same like species, they had two different philosophies on the creations that they made. So one species wanted to preserve that creation, the other species wanted to harvest that creation. So they got into a war with each other, right? Like that's what you got from the background story of it. And I think that might be what's going on. It's just there's a detrimental aspect to finding out what's going on because once we become a threat, then they just annihilate us. Or maybe it's not that that dire, and maybe it is just that people want control, or not people, but things want control over us, so they don't want us to know the truth.
So then you think that they're just watching and waiting, seeing if we're a danger to ourselves? Which we are. We
So
really
I
humans.
don't
I
even
believe we are a
think,
danger to ourselves. I mean, if they're just waiting, I think they're just
I
either
don't even
mocking
think,
us or go.
yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
don't even
Go.
think we can put ourselves in their headspace because so you got to take into account too that the same beings have been recorded in history for thousands of years at least,
Right.
right? So you have to take into consideration what is thousands of years for humanity. That's a lot of advancement in our evolution, in our technology, right? What does that mean for another species that is intergalactic, that they can travel through stars, through different galaxies? That means that they have more advancement than we can ever dream of. So for us to even try to get into their headspace and try to understand what the hell the agenda is, I don't even think we can. We can only, in our simplistic mind, try to like make sense of it. Um,
I'm gonna even get
I
darker,
also thought
bro.
maybe.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
okay,
No, no,
okay.
no. Go
So
ahead.
there's another point before you go. There's another point that I thought to make this less dark is what I think is maybe they chose a system where organisms have like a lifespan of a fly. So in retrospect to their life, our lifespan that is like 80 years, they live thousands of years in their solar systems. So 80 years is nothing. So we've been recorded seeing them for thousands of years just because they lived through it. It's one
Hmm.
scientific team that has been living through this entire evolution of humanity. So maybe it's not huge advancements, and maybe it is a species that we could put our headspace into because we have like the same level of intellect at a certain point.
That's deep, dude. Yeah, because they have been
Hmm.
recorded forever. Like you look at uh, hieroglyphics and like you know cave drawings and stuff like that, and it's like these dudes have been around for a little minute, you know. So
I think we're going backwards.
Bro,
I
and
think we may want to take
imagine
another
yeah,
route.
no, no, I'm just driving backwards, baby. I'm a
Imagine
freak.
trying. All right, imagine having. So all our studies, when you look at how long it's been done, they're all usually like 15 years, 20 years, because realistically, who's gonna carry out the
Right,
study once the person that
right. From the
wanted to
previous
do
team.
it is dead? Right. So like, how are you gonna have an entire civilization carry this out for thousands of years, maybe even hundreds of thousands of years? I don't see. To me, that sounds absurd. So what I'm thinking is maybe our lifespans are just so much shorter than theirs that to us 1,000 years seems like so many generations when in fact it's just one generation.
Yeah, yeah. One generation of theirs. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
All right, but I'm gonna get I'm gonna get darker because one of the things you
Okay.
said before
Okay.
is YouTube, don't cancel us. We're just sharing ideas, dude. It's our first buzzcast, baby. Come on, have a little mercy on us. So
Wait, do you want to get dark, or can I go grab a little beverage, or
Let's
you want to
get
do this right
get a
now?
darker,
beverage. Get a
baby.
beverage, and I'll edit it
Okay.
out. Go ahead. Yeah,
Okay.
you
Okay.
know
Okay.
what? Let me
Okay.
refresh. I'm gonna refresh as well. We'll be back, guys. All right, so we're back, folks, and we are just gonna get back to that previous discussion. What were you talking about, Craig? What were you gonna say?
Yeah, we're
Well,
talking
first of
dark,
all,
You
man.
what's
said
it?
you were gonna tell us something dark.
Oh, geez, I know. First of all, what's everybody sipping on? We're not sponsored, obviously, but yeah, boy, right here, Captain Stocky, the one and only, balling on a budget, sipping on the natty ice like always. Don't judge
I
me.
am sticking to my Duval, my
Duval,
Belgian
oh
beer.
baby, that
Oh,
boy, that
baby.
boy's Belgium.
I'm
All right, cheese. How about
Tomorrow
you?
I might
going a
regret
little
it.
different. I'm going a little different. I'm going a little high end right here. A little sipping on whiskey, some Scottish whiskey. The famous family. It's actually the Black Crouse. You
Oh,
guys heard
Black
of it?
Crowes.
Let me
Okay,
know if it's
baby.
good. I mean, I like it. It's smooth. But comment
Okay.
down below if you think it's good or what's your favorite whiskey.
Or judge us down below for what we're drinking. Don't judge me. I don't
Hmm.
have a lot of money, y'all. Come on, don't be like that. All right, but back to all right. Let's walk because I'm like I can't even bike up this trail. What my dude's crawling? My goodness. All
Go to
right,
the gym, buddy. Look at that. Go to the gym. Come on,
yo,
buddy. Come on. Look
what's
at those
going
legs. Look
on
at my
there?
leg.
For real? You
All upper
shirtless?
body day? No, no,
What are you
no. Look
pressing
at
to
that.
do that? Okay.
Don't worry about
Anyways,
it. Don't worry about it. It's leg day, baby.
so going back, because you said a thing. You said harvested. If aliens are gonna harvest us, bro. Like for me, it's so much darker, man. Like we're being harvested right now, dude. We're being harvested right now. Think about it. Like think about. I think I read the other day, and correct me if I'm wrong down below. If we're being harvested, I read the other day that I think it's either 60 or slightly over 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So when you think about are aliens harvesting us? Dude, I don't even think we have to worry about aliens harvesting us because we're harvesting each other. You know, we're being harvested by billionaires. We're being harvested by the people who truly call the shots in this country. You know, one of the things they're focusing on is population decline. You know, all of a sudden they want people to have more kids. Why? Because we have a depleted workforce. We had a ton of people that died over the past few years, and they need more bodies for the meat grinder. You know, so they want to convince people that oh, if you don't have more kids, uh, the country's in trouble. Have more kids for what, bro? Have more. Look at the way they're doing and banning the birth control. They're banning a bunch of stuff, and then at the same time, limiting government assistance for families with children in need. So, like, what do you want? What are you trying to create? In my mind, what they want is to have the neediest. Don't cancel me, YouTube. They want the neediest and most underserved percentage of the population to continue to have kids so that we have people for the meat grinder, people for the minimum wage jobs, people for the jobs that other people don't want to do, people to harvest plants and crops and all that stuff. And to make these people, the top 1% wealthier, to when you look at, man, what people are getting paid in a lot of these warehouses and what people are getting paid to do a lot of the hardest jobs in this country, bro, they need bodies. They need bodies. And
All right.
so I don't even think we have to worry about aliens harvesting us, dude, because I feel like, dude, aliens, look at this footage that has been, forget Mexico, look at the stuff that the US has released as far as alien footage is concerned. Dude, we've been watched, and aliens have been here forever. If they wanted to do something, they would have done it by now. But I feel like we're so insignificant and so lame that they're like, nah, hands off these people for now. Let's see, they're destroying themselves.
No,
So to
I don't think
piggyback
that
off,
we're
hold
insignificant
on,
at
'cause
all.
I apologize. Oh. So just before this, so to piggyback off that whole harvesting situation and going back to the
I'm
whole
turning it around because I
Hollywood
can't even walk up.
situation, yeah. So and going back to the whole Hollywood situation, there's a movie out there, a literal movie out there, and I just can't remember the name. Those down below comment if you know what I'm talking about. But there's a movie out there where I want to say it came out maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, and essentially it's a billionaire, multi-billionaires, where they harvest body parts,
Oh, okay, okay,
and the
okay. I know what you're
closer
talking
they
about.
are
Yep.
to passing, they just eliminate that person and harvest their organs or whatever they need exactly. And it's not the island. It's not the
No,
island,
no,
but there's
no.
another movie that
Yeah.
came in that. So to piggyback off that, it's like you're absolutely right. We're destroying ourselves, and these billionaires out there are probably doing things that we don't see behind the scenes because there's so much out there that we don't see as a
Boy,
general,
you getting me hard. You getting me hard.
like a public and consensus that we don't see. So, but that's just me.
Hold on. So check this out. Okay. Dang. And I feel like I know what movie you're talking about. I feel like it's a one-word title. Guys, if you know, please let me out of my misery. Comment down below. What is it? I don't know. I don't know. It's a one-word title, dude. I feel like it's a one-word title. But oh, crack my neck. But dude, I was reading the other day. Uh, because I be on these deep dives, boy. I believe, and I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't have the source right in front of me, that scientists have, for the first time ever, created a human embryo without using sperm and egg. So, like, something completely lab created, they have created something parallel to a human embryo. So it's like, I'm gonna die here, I think. Do we think, let's say, let's say this, let's say that scientists can create the equivalent to a human embryo without using human sperm and human egg, but this thing will develop exactly like a regular human, and will it'll have the same organs as us, same thought process or similar thought process as us. Uh, do you or do you not think that these beings will be harvested for their organs, and are you cool with that? Do you think that if a scientist can create the human equivalent using non-human sperm, non-human egg, but create something equivalent to us, Are you okay with these beings being harvested for their organs, or do you think that's some kind of rights violation? Because they already created them. Are you okay with it?
Oh, it doesn't matter if you're okay with it.
Are you okay with it though?
I of course I'm not okay with it, but that's because when you send something that's really outside of your scope of understanding, you reject it, right? But throughout everything that we've done with science, it's always been rejected, or even philosophy, or even just the solar system, the way that the planet doesn't, in fact, have the universe revolving around it, but we revolve around the
Right.
sun. That was rejected because it was like a notion that, right? So like, um, this sounds really scary because it's like, oh, are we playing God? But we've been playing God for a long time, and so yeah, if of course I'm not okay with it because my internal programming is like, what the hell are we doing? We're creating things that you don't even need sperm and eggs. I looked it up by the way, just to like make sure to
Am
get
I
on the
right?
topic of what you're talking
Look
about.
it up,
And
Jamie. Am
yeah,
I
so
right?
what they did, Joe, Joe, in fact, so scientists, what happened in Israel, they created a model of a human embryo. They haven't actually done it, but they created a model of a human embryo from using stem
Okay.
cells. Uh, so they're in the beginnings. They basically what they did was they created a blueprint of how you could do this, but they haven't done it, which is still pretty crazy and scary all at the same time. I want to go back because there's a bro. You guys touched on so many topics that I've been writing down. I want to like get into before we forget about it. So insignificant. I think that we don't cut ourselves enough credit about how interesting we are as a species. Like people go out to the Amazon to study ants. You know, they don't even go out to study like the biggest creature there. They'll go all the way to the Amazon just to study the different type of ant that lives in the Amazon, just to like catalog it and see how different they react than other ants in the rest of the world. Just because it's an interesting aspect to see what something with a nervous system can do. So insignificant, I think no. I think especially if there's ties to the fact that we are the beginnings of something bigger. I think that's really interesting to go and venture out and to catalog and see what it is going to be. Also, if there's a galactic like uh, government, if there's something becoming it's already sentient and something becoming dangerous where it can use nuclear weapons, I would think that that's even more interesting. Like you want to go and make sure that whatever that is either doesn't kill itself or it's worthy of becoming part of the Galactic Federation. I know that I just stepped like three
Star
steps
Wars
ahead with
bounty
the
Yeah, the boys
Galactic
in
hunter.
Star
Federation,
Wars. The boys in
but
Star Wars.
but we can
Gosh,
touch on that later. Now, harvesting, I never said that we're going to be harvested. I said we are being harvested. So I think that we've been harvested for centuries already. I don't know what it is that we're being harvested for. There's a lot of theories. So like things being called souls that we've read in the Bible and just in the beginning of the time that we all inherently have. I do believe we do have this, and I think it's an energy force that even transcends this reality. So when we die, I don't know where it goes, but it passes on to the next thing. And apparently, there's a lot of like accounts from people saying that when you die, because people that had near-death experiences or the
Right.
people that say that they have been reincarnated, there's a lot of memories of them being in a room when they passed away and their memories being wiped. So apparently, like these beings use our memories for something. They wipe they wipe us and then they show us to a well, and in the well we hear people screaming and crying and pain and torture, and then we realize that that's Earth. And so as a the way we're programmed is like I want to help them, so they tell you so help them, and then they push you into the well, and then you're born again. So like there's this theory of harvesting that maybe they take our memories for some reason. Maybe like memories is like a very valuable thing to them. I don't know.
Right.
This is very out there. This is fringe,
That yeah, that's super new to me. I've never
very
heard that.
fringe,
That's interesting.
very fringe. But like whatever, I just want to throw that out there. And then all right, humans harvesting. This is where I think we are with capitalism. So
Uh oh.
capitalism introduced with wealth with wealth, you could basically achieve anything except immortality. So I think where we are with like the billionaires, and we've never seen this discrepancy in wealth ever in the
Right.
history of this world. I think where we are right now is that the very wealthy are either exposed to like what it is life after death, or exposed to something that they're so scared of death that they're growing their bank accounts to such extremes, uh, because they want to put the best scientific teams around them to create immortality. Because like if you look at every billionaire, like I would say like a good percentage of them are putting their funds into immortality or some form of prolonging your life before you die. Or maybe it's just the fact that like we're humans and we don't know what the end is, so they're just scared of it and they just want to. But as far as harvesting, yes, they're looking at all of us as a means to immortality or a longer life. Um, the island was such a good shout because that was, to me, the scariest revelation. I never even thought of that until the island happened. That was like 2000, what, 9, 10, and it turns out that like they're cloning people so they can take their organs to keep living longer. So you realize you're just a clone
Mm.
to give the main person your organs so he can keep continue living or she can continue living. That's another really good, and I think that's where all this baby eating liberal
Right, right, right.
narrative that's is insane. But I think
Is
there's like, you
it?
know, how there's rumors, right? So you know how there's rumors and so there's truth to rumors. So I think that it's not a liberal agenda. I think it's a world leading agenda. I think that's like the people that are in charge of like, or like that have a lot of command in this world are leading that frontier of trying to live longer. Uh, so I think
By any
no matter
means.
what line you're on, yeah, no matter what line you're on, if you're a wealthy person and you have the means, you're gonna try and go for it. Human embryo, I already talked about that. Yeah, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover before I forgot.
That boy
So,
went in. That boy went
yeah.
in.
So bringing back to that topic of that whole island and organs again, we go back to that same topic. So there's a guy again, probably a billionaire, I believe it is, or a millionaire. I don't know. Either way, he's up there. So he spends a ridiculous amount of money to stay young.
Hmm.
Like he's
I know
doing
what you're talking about.
To stay
so
young
much to
by
stay
what
young,
means? What do
and
you
he's
mean
still the
by that?
same.
But
So
what do
So
you mean?
he,
yeah, maybe Craig can elaborate on that.
so
But
he, I'll tell you real quick before Lewis
Who's the
dives
guy? Do
in
you know his
deeper.
name?
So
I just met
no,
him a month ago and a half ago.
he sold a company, and he became close to a billionaire. And now he's spending all his money to take blood from his son.
Oh,
Um,
Yeah.
I think it's weekly, and then he has a very strict diet that he has created with scientists, and
Hmm.
he has actually regressed from getting older, and so he's like 44 or something. No, he's like, yeah, maybe in his 40s, and he has regressed 4 years from where he's supposed to be just by doing all of this because his body has actually gotten younger by doing it. You can like look
Yeah.
him. All right, Lucy, you
But
can
he's
keep going.
also done like cryogenic work and everything like that
mm-hmm.
Right.
to stay at that age. So it doesn't. So it's like an aging process basically. So he's
Right. An
trying to either
anti-aging
stop
process.
it. Yeah. So I'm guessing he's trying to find like a fountain of youth in a way, but on a weekly basis, trying to harvest your son's blood, it's an extremity. Like, imagine how
That's
far the deep
wild,
end,
dude. I
like
gotta
yeah,
look
like
this dude
how
up.
far of a deep end you got to go to, or lengths you're going to for that to happen. So I don't know if like they say that money's the root of all evil, but you're slowly starting seeing all these crazy things happening, and again, we don't even know. It's just this is like the tip of an iceberg of how deep it goes, and I don't know.
All right. So this will be the last question, and we could end it on this one.
Okay. So, so the CEO is Brian Johnson. He sold Venmo,
Okay,
Venmo.
Venmo. So is that who
so
you
he
are?
became
You're our
a
Jamie.
billionaire.
You're our Jamie. You're gonna be looking for
I can be it all, baby. I
But
can
it's
be it all.
good.
Whatever
It's
you
good
need.
because it's good to have like fact checking in during the discussion as
Sessions.
opposed to like someone just destroying us in the
I'm like
comments.
Iron
But
Man
feel
right
free
now,
to
dude. I'm
destroy us in the
flying.
comments.
Whee!
Um.
Like that.
Okay. So what did you say his name was?
Brian
Brian
Johnson, I
Johnson.
believe.
Brian Johnson. I'm gonna look that guy up. All right. So, oh, I see you in the suit, baby.
Dude, you gotta get on that suit, man.
I don't even know how to do that. Let's see.
All right, so press up. Press up. and then it'll give you like a choice
Oh
of all
yeah, yeah,
games
yep,
or
yep, yep, yep.
choices. There you go. And then just
Let's
get on the
end it
cliff
on that,
and
baby.
jump on that, baby. Just
And then
jump
what? Press R2.
and then just fly. It's the buttons are
Oh,
inversed.
okay. So this
So
is my
like if
question. As we're flying, we're gonna close on this. This is my question. As we're flying above the world, this is amazing. Um, if we can do something, let's say even if you don't have to do anything unethical, even if you don't have to do anything unethical, are you committed to trying to live as long as you can, or do you feel like our current lifespan is enough? Are you committed to living as long as you can? Let's say if you could extend your life to 300 years, would you do that, or do you feel like our current lifespan is enough? Comment down below. Let
so
us know what you think. Uh, let us know because I'm curious. Holy cow! And as I say that, I see a UFO. I'm gonna fly towards a UFO. I see a UFO on the horizon. Do you want to live as long as you
so
can, or are you good
right.
with what we have?
But now, are you saying everyone in general, like, or is it just
You,
you
Lewis,
alone
you,
and then
Craig, me, Damien. Is this enough for you, or do you need more?
again, there's story not stories, but there's comic book writings and there's a lot of things that the longer you live, the more depressed you become because you see others wither around you while you are living for a longer period of time. So it's I don't know, man. It's tough to say yes or no to because the people that you loved, you just see them wither away, and you're just at the same age,
Yeah,
or
like
not
a
the same
Doctor
age, but you're
Manhattan, a Superman type ordeal.
yeah, or Savage
Dracula.
from Dracula or Vandal Savage, for example. Again, it's a cartoon, but he's immortal. You know, he's lived through it all, and he's seen people he's loved and things like that just disappear on him. But
I'll
Gregorio.
live.
you know,
I'll live.
Ah, greedy
of
bastard, you
course,
billionaire
yeah,
wannabe.
right.
I'll live. So I think the what your flaw in the question is because maybe you're not maybe the way you worded it is not where you're trying to get across. But you said 300 years. I'll live 300 years if it means that I'm still gonna have vitality. But if I'm like
Mm-hmm.
gonna be decrepit and
Decrepit.
like need help and like I'm just have dementia, and of course no, I want to pass away before all that. Just because I feel like we're a blink in time, especially with how long the universe has existed. Like it's so unfair that we just get into this world and realize that we have no real impact on what's even around it. Like we have temporary impact, and it might last for a year or two. If we're a very important person, it may be like a decade. But you're after your death, after you know certain time, you're forgotten about. So I'll live longer just so I can experience more. And I think that like the brain expanding is such an interesting thing. Also, um, but my next thing is immortality. If we want to go into that, I think that's a scary thing. I think immortality, like if you try to like really understand the concept of either uh, lights out or living forever, even after this reality, both are scary in their own right. Because if you die here and then it's just black, it's just curtains closed. I think that's crazy scary. But then if you go to the next realm, it's like, wait, so there's never a rest? Like, is it always suffering, or is there a silver lining at the end of it, or is even a silver lining? If there's a happy ending, is that torture in its own way? Because isn't too much happiness torture? So I would live longer just because that means there's an end to it, but it just gives me more time to understand more concepts of what the universe even means.
That boy said happy endings. That boy said live forever. He said he's breakdancing on the floor. I just rode past him.
I broke my back.
I was about to break your back, baby. I think it's a lot of topics. I think we got definitely deeper than I was anticipating for the first ever Buzzcast. We can save some of these questions for the next one. We can save some of these thoughts. We can wait for people to comment and tell us what you like, what you think, what you'd like us to discuss in the next one. But I think riding on this UFO with my flannel shirt, with my cap on, diving off it and doing backflips, it's a good place to end. Guys, if you like what you've heard, if you want more, I'm dead. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, baby. We want to do it once a week. We want to get deep. We want to get wacky. We want to get sad and dark. But only if you want it. So let us know what you want, guys. Till next time, we look forward to doing it again. We love you. Peace out.